Hello and welcome to the Marine Conservation Happy Hour. This is Dr. Scarlett Smash. I am here with my co-host, Dr. Kraken. How you doing, Dr. Kraken?
How you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling fabulous. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. We just did a Facebook Live event. I love it. We're starting to do that every Saturday. At some point, we probably would like to do it more in the evening when it's the most boring day that people have nothing to do and there's nothing good on TV. Obviously, Saturdays are probably not the best time to do Facebook Live because everyone's doing fantastic, great, fabulous things. But, you know, it doesn't really matter. We're okay with that.
Yeah, but what we kind of want to do is have an episode when everyone is just about to go out to the pub. You know, just before they're going out.
Pre-party?
Yeah,
that's what we'll be. We'll be the Marine Conservation Happy Hour pre-party. That's
so tune into our live podcast.
Yeah,
and then
we'll be we're gonna just rev your engines for partying. That's what we'll do. And I swear to gosh, I will have the most fabulous outfits that'll help you with that. Yes, as I totally shake everything on me, even my belly fat.
Anyway, well, that's just an excuse to make your fabulous costumes tax deductible.
I have to edit that now.
Sorry.
Come on now. Don't be too British. All right. Okay. Well, excellent. Dr. Kraken, what are you drinking? Because we are about to go on an incredible, fabulous rant. And we love our fabulous rants. And I'll tell you what, I just want to give a shout out to a lot of our listeners who have contacted us and said, thank you for ranting about subjects that most people wouldn't do because they're too scared, because they're scared to get fired. They're scared to not get employed. And it's really actually stunning and shocking that you have to be this terrified in the science field.
There's a lot of people in the marine sciences, particularly because it's so competitive that if you speak out, you'll be hammered down. And it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome, that you accept this really sort of toxic environment because you want to be working on whales or dolphins or sharks or whatever.
Sad. Anyways, we are advocating for you. We're gonna put our careers on the line. How about that? Just help us out with our Patreon so we can actually continue to keep going on. Dr. Kraken, I am drinking. Oh yes, I'm drinking Snoop Dogg's. Here, I'm going to show you right now because this is an amazing bottle. So it's Snoop Dogg's Rosé. It has Snoop Dogg with this massive cloak over his head.
He looks like he's in Game of Thrones. Yes! He's like, I am the master of
I know.
Coin.
And it's called 19 Crimes. And like I've said on the live podcast, the fact that I'm in this corset is a crime. So I figured this was perfect. This is absolutely perfect drink to have on a Saturday as we're pre-gaming. Dr. Kraken, what are you drinking?
Well, because we're going on a rant, I'm drinking Viking mead. You know, I've mentioned before my favorite meadery, Grunfell, who would deliver mead to my doorstep in the pandemic. And because we're going to go on a rant, I need to release
I love the fist.
Inner berserker.
I love the fist. You're like showing the fist out. I'm ready. Okay, so here we go. I truly believe in rants. I want everyone that's listening, if you feel like you have you can relate, express it to us. Let us know. We have a Facebook page that you can go ahead and add some comments. Let us know about your personal story. It's really healthy to rant, and we're right here to support you
and to realize you're not alone.
Absolutely.
Because so many people, particularly through social media, portray this image of, oh, I'm in marine science and everything is wonderful. Look at me in this submarine or on this boat or on this beach.
I haven't been backstabbed a billion times.
Yes, exactly. Being backstabbed or crying because you didn't get your grant, or just having a really, really miserable time
And then
trying to
it
find
makes
a
people feel
job.
isolated because they feel like, well, maybe I'm the only one that's having this problem. And it's like, no, hun, no, babes,
Oh,
no,
lots of
my love,
people. Yes.
no, we're all going through it. And it's unfortunate that this is the type of culture that we have in the STEM field. Now, not every single like field is exactly like this, because there's some studies that kind of attract different people than other people, and like egos might be a little bit less than others. And
Yes.
so it could vary in the intensity levels. And so we're saying if you cannot relate, that's fine, but maybe it's important for you to listen to maybe what everyone else or other people might be going through, so we can be a good support.
Yeah.
So
There are
Kraken.
definitely some fields which are more toxic than others.
Yes.
So, right, what we're talking about are the let's just call them the Ellen DeGenereses of marine science, where
Okay, and I'm so sad about this because I was such an Ellen DeGeneres like fan.
oh, me too, me too. I thought she was like her image, you know, really friendly, really nice, and then
Yeah.
all this stuff comes out about her being
Stop,
abusive
you're
to
making
her
me cry.
staff.
I really hope that that's not the case. And here's my thought is I really hope that Ellen listened to these comments and she can improve on it, because I really believe in that everyone can better themselves and we can learn from this. It's okay. It's okay if we made a mistake. Okay, done, over with, move on, new chapter, right? So I really do hope that she's going to be as fabulous as I always thought she was going to be. But go ahead, continue, Dr. Kraken.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if vampires and Buffy can reform and become good guys, then maybe some of these characters can too. But
Yes.
I mean, in the movie Devil Wears Prada,
Mm.
the this sort of boss who has this very uh, cultivated image, but actually
Mhm.
really, really mean to their staff and subordinates, really mean to their students. Unfortunately, this is really, really common in the
Mhm.
marine sciences, where there are some people who are really pretty senior because either they produce papers that lots of people cite, they've got
Right.
to a high position in academia, they've got
Yeah.
lots of money through their grants, or perhaps because they have a high media profile. When you actually sort of look underneath, you find out they're actually sort of presiding over this really toxic environment where the people
Mhm.
they're working with are being abused, or
Mhm.
you know, they are trampling over the bodies of their students, they're stealing work, they're not giving credit to everyone. So unfortunately, this is really common, particularly in certain fields in marine science, where, as you said, there are often very, very big egos, topics which
Mhm.
get a huge amount of media attention. So this one person perhaps hogging all the limelight, whereas actually a team who pulled everything together. Um, you know, being first author on the papers that their students actually produced, or taking credit for work that their students did. So this unfortunately is really, really common. And it would be nice in academia or the NGO field or government field or whatever, if instead of we had these metrics based on how much money you brought in, or how well your papers were cited, that these sort of aspects of, are you a good team member? Are you a good leader and manager? Are you nurturing? Do you support students? Do you put your students first? Are you a good teacher? I mean, if these things, oh, did you work with community groups? Did you make sure that there was equity in your project so that everyone got credit, or you help support some underrepresented communities, whatever, at the expense of your own ego and your own career and your own image? Um, it'd be great if these sorts of things could be valued more. So really the person, not the person who's getting the limelight all the time, but the person who is making sure that their team, their students, the people they work with get equal shares in the limelight. Wouldn't it be great if that was how we evaluated who was successful, rather than this, it's all about one person, and that person could be stepping over many of the people to get to the top. You're muted, Smash.
So sorry. I was like, I completely agree. I was like writing notes and everything. I was like, I'm so with you. I'm so with you. Let's like write a paper about this. No, for real. Absolutely. Okay. Let's I just need to take a breather, because I feel like there's a lot of emotions that are created by this, because it's absolutely true, right? Basically, what do they call it? Like grabbing onto someone's coattails and writing it, right? Exactly. Or, just using people, stealing their stuff, exactly everything that you were saying. How do we change that type of culture? That's what I'm hoping to get at. You know what I mean? How can we be more mindful at this?
Yeah, I think it needs to be a significant paradigm shift in how we evaluate people and how we honor people in professional societies and in academia. So it somehow it needs academia to change systems, but unfortunately, a lot of the people who got to the top did so because they crawled over the corpses of the people that they backstabbed. Terry Pratchett did a great series of books where he talked about wizards in the Wizard Academy, where literally their environment was like that. They're all stabbing each other, and the person who ended up getting to the top was the one who got rid of most of their competition through various different nefarious ways, until they had a leader who was just very strong, and then changed the system so it became a much more equitable and friendly and less stressful place. And then they started actually doing things that were heroic, and they were being more successful, and they actually made a difference in the world instead of trying to compete with each other. So yeah, trying to reward leadership that leads to collegiality, rather than, and people who have multiple author papers, or people who get their students to publish first, or get their students to get awards, rather than, oh, I'm the PI, I'm going to get all the money and then give my students some little crumbs, but I'm going to take all the credit. And
So I totally think that what we need to be doing is, when you see someone awarded or actually given the title of a hero, let's get more background. Let's investigate it a little bit more, because
yeah,
let's put it this way. You hate to say it, Dr. Kraken, you're not saying it, I'm going to say it. So I'm not hired by any of these organizations, so I can. And it all comes from me, okay? And this is my thought. This is not yours, Dr. Kraken, but my thought is, again, a lot of these scientific organizations want to have big name people, even if they're good or not good, and they continue to give them awards and recognition just because they have a whole bunch of followers. And that's what I'm just going to say. So think about it. Honestly, think about it. Okay. When I'm the host of the Marine Mammal Science podcast, okay? And I go by Dr. Ashley Scarlett, because that's my name, right? And when I bring on guests, I'm not really trying to find the senior, most popular scientists. I want to find everyone. I want to go into the alleys of the science world, and I want to find the scientist that is doing some really cool things that no one has heard of. And that's what I definitely try to do. And I go on recommendation. And so I think that's kind of important. Let's look at that. Are we having specific speakers just because they have a lot of recognition and followers, and maybe that company or that organization is trying to get more recognition and more attention?
I've certainly had speakers who were recommended to me because they produce these influential papers, and then you actually get to meet them in the flesh. Pretty awful.
Mhm.
They're pretty awful people. They're poor
Mhm.
communicators, kind of dull. Um, it's like meeting. I had to say, it's like meeting Sean Connery in the flesh. He's
Mhm.
great on screen, but actually as a person, pretty awful. He used to beat his wife. He was kind of
Mhm.
misogynistic. So we
Mhm.
need to, look at our role models and really find out what our
Absolutely.
role
Even our
models are
scientists.
like.
Even our scientists.
Yeah.
And and here's oh my gosh, I am completely all about be your authentic self. I I am Dr. Kraken. You see all my social media like posts. I let people know, oh my God, you're going to get the most rawness from me. You know what I mean? Like what you see is what you get.
Oh yeah, you are. Yeah.
I'm
You
all of
think
it.
it comes out. Yeah,
I'm all
absolutely.
of
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There's
And
no.
it's really important to question, is someone being authentic or they're trying to be professional and market some type of facade? You know what I mean? And I think that's what we need to look at.
It's
But
like the Hollywoodization of science sometimes, where I've been in a lot of meetings and people are very good at giving this is like insincere pitches
yeah,
about things like
yeah,
give me money for this, or this project is going to be so great,
yeah,
and then you find out it's actually sort of built on sand. What I'd
yeah.
really like to talk to is the people who really do have a good project,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not wasting my time, that is
Mm-hmm.
actually a project that has had a lot of work put in it. Like a mutual friend, Katerina Audley, he's got this fantastic project in
Mm-hmm.
Mexico where
Mm-hmm.
there's like 20 years of
Yeah.
community building. It's a really fantastic
Ooh,
project,
love it.
but doesn't really get the recognition it deserves,
That's
as
what I'm
opposed
saying.
to this one that's got all these sort of bells and whistles and wow, this is an amazing project. When you
That's
actually
what I'm
look at
trying to
it,
say as I go down the dark alleys and
yeah,
find
when
those
you actually sort
individuals.
of look into it, it's all sort of flim flam, and
Mhm, mhm.
it's all sort of showmanship rather than are they actually making a difference?
Right. Well, Dr. Kraken, thank you for this wonderful rant. It's important for us. It's healthy for us. Let's get it out. Let's get it all out. And we'd love to hear your topic, your thoughts. And even if you're not in the science field, maybe you have some of these feelings and you kind of experience something similar to it, and we would love to hear what you have gone through. So thank you so much for joining us, and happy conservation.